Obesity has been called the new American epidemic by many doctors. It is estimated that 58 million Americans living in the United States are obese, and that 8 out of every 10 people who are over 25 are overweight. Obesity is easily America's fastest growing health concern. This condition, thought, is not limited to American adults. Doctors have recently found that nearly 13% of all American children suffer from this problem, and statistics seem to grow up each year. Understanding the jump in childhood obesity rates is directly linked to the understanding of obesity itself. The American Academy of Pediatricians defines childhood obesity as occurring in kids who have a BMI of more than 30. Other institutions suggest that a child whose body weight is at least 20% higher than a child of a similar height is obese. No matter what the exact definition, obesity is simply excess body fat. Why, though, is obesity such a concern? I mean, hey, an extra drink or two can't really harm a kid, can it? Actually, yes, it can. Obesity can not only increase the risk of physiological problems in kids, like eating disorders and depression and anxiety problems, it can also put them at risk for all sorts of physiological problems, including heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. In fact, 45% of all new cases of juvenile type 2 diabetes are obesity linked. Childhood obesity increases the risk of orthopedic problems because kids are forced to carry extra weight that their bone structure simply cannot handle. Bowed legs and arthritis are increasingly present. Obese kids also have more skin disorders than children of healthy weight. Obesity increases the skin area subject to folds, which in turn increases problems like heat rash and dermatitis. All of this can create serious problems for the child and for the healthcare system. In 1979, hospital costs associated with childhood obesity were $35 million. At the end of the decade, they were risen to $127 million. Some may suggest that the rise in childhood obesity rates are due to naturally occurring medical conditions like hypothyroidism and Cushing's syndrome. Each child who demonstrates symptoms of obesity should be carefully evaluated by a medical professional for these conditions. Although most doctors suggest that the occurrence of these problems in children is quite low, the obesity epidemic is linked to more serious societal problems like low physical activity levels and poor eating habits. There is little doubt that childhood obesity rates are on the rise, and the treatments for these problems may be simpler than you think. The best treatment for the problem on a societal level is prevention. This can be accomplished by increasing the number of mothers who breastfeed their babies, thereby delaying the introduction of solid foods to 6 months of age, limiting the television and video game intake of toddlers and older kids alike, providing healthy, low-fat, nutritious snacks and meals for kids of all ages, and creating family exercise plans. If obesity has already occurred, treatment should include a manageable weight loss plan, behavior modification therapies, nutritional counseling, and an exercise plan. Childhood obesity is on the rise, and clearly everyone is at risk from the effects of this devastating condition. This unknown problem in America needs attention. The children are our future, and thus it is unacceptable to put them at a risk for obesity and health problems associated with being overweight. By advocating healthy diets, exercise, and education, the fast increase in childhood obesity throughout the country can be ended.